3, 2, 1. You ready?
You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Hey everybody, thank you so much for listening. This is the Real Pineapple. This is your humble host Hunter here, and if this is your first time listening, thank you so much for listening. Normally I start off the evening by the podcast by saying good evening, but I gotta be honest, guys. It's not one. It's been a real weird, shitty day, if I'm being completely honest. I am very happy and honored to have a frequent Real Pineapple contributor. You can check him out on his own podcast, On the Fly, with KJ and OJ. OJ, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, man.
It's kind of crazy. I helped you out, you and KJ, earlier by helping you guys review Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is we'll talk about how you can find that at the end of the recording here. But we found out about halfway through the recording, about the news, and I've been texting people all day. Colin will be back on the podcast here next weekend. I'm gonna let him kind of speak for himself, but I know I'm just gonna kind of dive into my memories here. So Colin's been a Laker fan for as long as I've known him, which is 20 years. I've known Colin, and Kobe is always his favorite player, and we'd always get into arguments about Kobe's better than Jordan. No, he's not. Like we like assholes. These guys who are doing quite well for themselves, so having that argument. And so the last 90 minutes or so, I've just been kind of watching Kobe highlights, and I think the one that really and people talk about his passing, and I think the one that jumped out for me, because it's unfortunately very eerie for me, is when Craig Sager passed, and Greg Popovich, who I think people forget, one of the big hurdles Kobe had to get over early on in his career was at the Spurs, because the Spurs played Lakers tough when Kobe was on the come up, and Kobe even talked about how he loved Phil Jackson, but he always wanted to find a way to get coached by Popovich, which I found that would have been just something to see. Pop coaching Kobe, holy crap! But they played him real tough. And one thing I will say about Kobe, 41, man, just won an Oscar for his short loving basketball, which, if you have not seen it, it's fucking excellent. And it's a shame, because he clearly had found a second avenue for basketball. Because we've talked about off mic, OJ, like those guys who, we talk about a lot of pro wrestling. Those guys who are just so addicted to it because they don't have anything else. Kobe had other shit. He was truly an international brand, which is something I always did really appreciate about the guy. He spoke multiple languages. And I will say I've appreciated Kobe more as I've gotten older, just because middle school again was not a Laker fan, I was a Kings fan, and that went well. But I remember the Kobe highlight that jumped out to me outside of his last game, because I remember being at a Flowing Tide, watching that game, and cheering on Kobe, man, and being like, come on, dude. Because, who wants to lose to the Jazz anyway? But Mormons, but I remember just going dude, I want you to go out on top. Come on, man. Because he had the Achilles injury, and I felt so bad, because the will and the drive and the skills were still there, but just his body started betraying him, and I just went, you deserve better than this, than what you've done for the league. So go out on top, please. And he dropped a 60 in his last game.
Yes, he did.
And just really just showed out. And we got that final glimpse of the old Kobe, and I was so happy for Laker fans, because it's yeah, man, this is someone who has inspired hundreds, thousands, millions. Right? I loved was a couple weeks ago he was talking shit to Luka.
Yeah,
because he was front row. He was courtside in Slovenian, right? I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was talking shit to. I was like, Kobe. Of course, Kobe knows Slovenian. Like,
of course he does.
Yeah, because why the fuck wouldn't he? But I love that Kobe, even though like he could separate himself from the game, but still be like involved in it. And Jay, I wanted to have you on, man, just because I know you've been a Laker fan for a minute, and one thing I think people for scramble, and they're kind of like, oh shit, who's going to be the next guy?
Yep.
And then Kobe comes along, drafted by the Hornets. I think people forget that the Hornets drafted Kobe and traded him away for a Swiffer and a plate of Magic Beans. I think that's what they traded.
Essentially.
Yeah, because they got Divock or they traded for Divock and someone else, right?
I don't remember the exact trade on that one.
But,
to be completely frank.
But fools, buffoons, imbeciles, because the Lakers got Kobe and I
traded for a kid.
Yeah, and it makes me laugh because I think about what the Lakers got Shaq for, which was like not even close to its value, and you get these two players, Kobe on the come up, Shaq at like prime Shaq, because people forget Shaq when Kobe was right there, man, was a bad motherfucker. Shaq was like, oh man, it was like just as a big man playing ball, I love seeing that. But Kobe, man, I remember the first thing I really noticed was his handles. I remember just going like, this guy, the way he's able to maneuver and sweep through multiple different types of defenses. And that King series, when they got to the finals, that would have been year 4 for him, I believe, when he won his first chip. That really showed me something. Because again, I was going for the Kings, but I remember just going, God damn, Kobe's he's really great at this. And it just had that Mamba mentality. And now I will say my favorite Kobe is like Afro Puff Kobe, because that's like little mini Afro Puff Kobe. I love that Kobe. That Kobe's my jam. But you look at what he did with Shaq, how they win they get the 3-peat. Shaq leaves for Miami, and a lot of people, myself included, were kind of like, fuck, what's he gonna do by himself? And I think people forget that Kobe, was a lost member of TLC, because sometimes he was playing with scrubs and still found a way to fucking win. Just will his team to victories. And he got those two without Shaq. I remember that's when I really went, okay, man, credit where it's due. And you said something, and I'm going to give you all the credit in the world on this. You said something genuinely brilliant off mic. The fact that I think Kobe will be the last one superstar who can do it without another one, because he never really had another one after Shaq left. Like, Gasol was good, Bynum was good in pockets. I mean, you had like Vujicic and some other guys, but as far as another superstar,
well, what I said was I think he'd be the last to stay on one team his whole career.
Okay.
I stand by that. Now, I think what you bring up is an interesting thing. Is Kobe going to be the last one who didn't need another superstar with him? Because I mean, that's what the NBA now is.
Yeah,
it's all fucking duos.
Yeah, you need at least two to even have a chance at a chip. Like, not even guaranteed to win. But people forget Kobe had, like I said, he had Gasol, who was great. He had Bynum, who was great. But he never had that guy who was matching him as far as his mentality being like on that same level. Like, he didn't have a Steph to like his Curry, or like a LeBron to AD. He didn't have that when Shaq left, and the fact he was able to get two more by himself, and he won MVP after Shaq left too, which I think people forget too.
Yes, he did.
It's crazy how the two Kobe memories that stick out for me, or I should have a couple here, but when Matt Barnes tried to throw the ball at him and Kobe didn't flinch,
That's my overall favorite, man.
I remember watching that going, oh shit. I remember thinking, oh man, Kobe's gonna hit Matt Barnes with his car after the game because
Kobe's a stone cold killer, man.
Because I mean, I've had people tend to throw like a piece of paper at me. I'm like, let alone a giant leather ball. But Kobe didn't fucking move. I was like, oh my god, that's the best play of the game. I don't really care what else happens. I love when Kobe, because you can't skip the Jordan comparisons, but Kobe, whenever they would play Portland, I would just laugh. Because they had that one guy, Ruben Patterson. You remember? He calls up the Kobe stopper. I think
yep.
And I remember I was like, dude, why are you just don't pull Soup's cape. Leave the brother alone. And so, Ruben Patterson would now to Ruben Patterson's credit, I think he would be like the John Starks to Kobe's Jordan in the sense that he did play him tough.
Yes, he did.
Bruce Bowen did too. Bruce Bowen really played Kobe tough on Spurs, but Kobe would always get his against Patterson, usually in very clutch moments. I still remember we watching some of his top 50 plays, and that three he hits over Patterson.
Oh my god, dude.
Is such a ridiculously goddamn difficult shot. But you just have to almost laugh. I mean, not if you're Portland, but you just have to laugh because the degree of difficulty is insane, and he banked that shot. I want to say too. And you're just like, God damn it! Like, what do you do? It's still, and this is high praise for me because if you guys listen to the podcast, you know how much I love MJ. This is for me the 1B to Jordan's 1A, the shot over Craig Elo. That shot he made against Miami on Christmas Day.
Oh, man.
I remember when he made that, I just started laughing. Because first off, Dwayne Wade is just like, God damn it. But he hits a runner from distance, banks it, and then runs off the court as well he should have. Because, that's about as close to highway robbery as it gets. But I remember Wade was all over him. Not an inch of space to get that shot off. And he's found a way. And banked that and went, oh my god, he's one of the best ever. You can't dispute it. For me, he's in my top 10, if not my top 5. I think Kobe's just, yeah. And you think about his level of defense too, because again, I'm a big component of defense. I love watching guys on the defensive side, defensive side of the ball. There are very few people who took that seriously as I found, someone like Jordan would. I think Magic was a great defender too, but Kobe really, you would see him seek out the other team's best matchup, and I always respected the shit out of that. Mm-hmm. He'd always guard their star player. Really, even until his last couple seasons, he would still.
Yes, he would.
Because there's games where he was guarding LeBron. It's okay, as much as he's expelling on the offensive side, he's putting in the work defensively. Yeah, man, kind of talk to me, man. Some of your favorite Kobe.
So here's the thing, man. So from my enjoyment of basketball, I got started with Michael.
Yeah.
I got started the year that honestly he won his first chip, man. I was, dude. I was in 4th grade. Okay. Just for context, I was in 4th grade. And I really liked, I kind of kept my eye on the Lakers, man, but Jordan was a whole different animal, man. And Jordan, I've never seen anybody play like Jordan. And I stuck by Jordan until when he retired the second time, after coming back after the first retirement.
Yeah.
After he retired the second time, I was like, okay, I'm going to pick a team and stick with one.
Yeah.
Phil Jackson went to go coach the Lakers, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's
roll Phil.
We're going to roll with Phil. And Kobe kept me there. Kobe flat out kept me as a Laker fan. And that dude is the baddest man not named Michael Jordan to ever lace him up.
I agree. I agree 1,000%.
And, people... I understand the love for Shaq. I understand all of that. I understand how important he was for that first 3.
Yeah.
But Kobe, he still got 5.
Yeah.
Shaq, here's the thing. Do you think Shaq could have got it done without Kobe?
No.
That's why that 5 is important.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Even if Shaq does play the more prominent role.
Yeah.
Kobe's the fucking cog that keeps that going.
I agree.
You know, there is. I've never seen. How do I put this? I've never seen a competitor who ever has come close to Kobe Bryant. And that's no disrespect to Michael Jordan. But, you know what I mean? Like,
I get what you're saying.
Like, Kobe was, or Michael was the fucking blueprint. Kobe was the refined product. Honestly, LeBron is trying to be the same thing or the improved version of Kobe. And in my opinion, numbers-wise, he may make it there, man. But titles-wise, he just can't touch Kobe. So he can't now.
So one thing I will always give Kobe credit for, like I said, the last, I would say 3 years, I really did become a fan of him because Kobe got into that mindset, and I think that's really when he kind of refined the Mamba mentality as he realized he was in the twilight of his career. Him really just not giving a fuck. Like when a reporters were asking questions, like, "Oh, you think this player?" He's like, "Oh, he's lazy as hell," or what? Like, I remember I was like, "Whoa!" Like, okay, and that's something that I will always give him over Jordan. That he really used. He was one of the first NBA players to really not care about his brand when it came to talking about social issues. And that's a scary thing, man. Because I mean, we talk about it, man. Anytime we talk into a mic, we are putting our opinions out to the universe, and that's always. There's always a certain amount of to that. I mean, 5 years I've been doing this, almost 6 years. I still kind of almost like, oh, okay, fuck. There's that slight twinge of anxiety. Kobe's saying this shit in the microphones in front of millions of people watching. And I remember, when he tweeted out, and I'm gonna read the tweet because I actually have it up here. So Kobe tweeted this back in 2017, August 23rd, if you want to be specific. A president of the United States whose name alone creates division and anger, whose words inspire dissension and hatred, can't possibly make America great again. And I remember going, that is a bold-ass statement. And Kobe, like I said, Jordan would never say something like that. Because he cared about his brand way too much. Kobe got to that point where he was like, I am my brand. I don't give a shit. And that's something that I just have such profound respect for. Because you still see people tiptoeing around it now. I mean, not to the same degree as you would say back in the 90s, but, there are some times, athletes just won't touch an issue because it's, it's too hot, as it were. Kobe was never like that, man. And he had this fierceness that you just kind of have to sit back and be in awe of. Something else, man, dunk contest, slam dunk contest. He won it 1 year. I want to say. I think it was like his second season.
I want to say it was his second season. Also.
But again, I mean, how many marquee guys do we get in the dunk contest now?
Right.
I mean, like no one.
Dwight Howard's gonna be in it.
He is. And, hey, he's won it 1 year. I'm just saying. But
right.
But it's
how crazy would that be?
Oh, if he won it this late in the game, that he could.
I
think his height alone, he might. Yeah,
his height alone will help.
Yes, it will.
But I mean, it's going to depend on how healthy he is. I mean, he's been healthy all year.
Yes. Knock on. I don't.
Wood. I'll knock on my head.
There you go. there we go. Knock on something else. But but.
So let me ask you this, man.
Yeah, please.
Like, do you think the world is now in the Lakers' corner to win this year?
Let me think about that, because that's a very interesting question.
I'm just putting that out there.
That is a really interesting question. No, I get what you're saying. By the way, I think as of this recording, I haven't heard anything about Jeannie Buss yet.
I haven't either. She has to be devastated. They were so close.
They were. Staples Center, man. I remember when. Sorry, just popped my head. Yeah. I remember when the Great Western Forum got torn down. That was, and I gotta say, just as a as a huge fan of buildings, I know it's really random, but I love the Forum, how it looked like this, almost like an enhanced theater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I love the way the Forum looked. And so when they tore the Forum down, I was, as a fan, of just basketball, I was genuinely devastated. I was like, that fucking sucks. But as someone who's been to Staples is fucking beautiful. Number one, it is beautiful.
Yep, I've been there as well.
And number two, as wrestling fans, the whole this is the house AJ Styles built. Staples Center is the house Kobe built, and anytime he stepped in front of Staples, it felt like he had a genuine responsibility. He wasn't doing that load managing bullshit that has become a huge thing in the NBA, and that's something else again that I always respected as far as the Jordan comparisons. Is that Kobe realized that people paid their hard-earned money because when Kobe was on the Lakers tickets were not cheap. Holy crap!
I'm just gonna kind of say rightfully so, just because it was like the best show on earth at the time, man.
Yeah, and Kobe would give you everything he had.
He really did.
He never took a night off. Never. He genuinely never took a night off. He knew how to play the crowd just enough. I remember buying NBA 2K10, and that it's one of my favorite sports covers ever because the cover of Kobe's got his thumbs through like the straps of the jersey, and he's holding the jersey out. It's such a cool cover. I remember I was like, okay, I was like that's just an iconic shot. Pulled up here on the screen because I didn't have. There you go. But yeah. I freaking love that cover, man. And we got to talk about going from number 8 to number 24. So Shaq leaves for Miami. Kobe has those allegations against him in Colorado. Kobe decides, hey, it's time to make it. Got time to make a change, as it were. So he switches to number 24. In number 24, Kobe incorporated my favorite thing about his game. He incorporated the fadeaway.
Oh yeah.
And Kobe's fadeaway, man. Again, if being a Jordan enthusiast, I think his fadeaway is just as good as Jordan's. There would be times where something that he had over Jordan. Kobe was always a good 3-point shooter.
Yes.
Like a really good 3-point shooter.
Yes, he was.
And I mean this is a compliment what I'm about to say. Kobe is probably the best maker of self-inflicted difficult shots. Because there'd be times where Kobe shoot a fadeaway through. I'm like, what are you? All right, you made it. It's like, why are you doing that? I mean, there'd be times Jordan shoots shots like that, and you're kind of like, all right, dude. But it seemed like it was happening a lot more, maybe in the 90s, because you just foul more. By the time Kobe got into like the later part of his career, I mean, the defense, obviously, you can't check people like you could, but Kobe was taking threes with 2 guys on him,
yes,
like up and unders, and you're just sitting there going, what are you... And it seems like 9 times out of 10 those shots were going in. And you're like, God damn, like...
And who does that today?
I mean, who's playing right now?
But really though, who takes that many threes with 2 guys in their face?
I mean, Steph would probably be the closest.
The closest. Yeah. Nobody does that. No, yeah. They pass.
Yeah,
but they straight up pass.
But Kobe had that much confidence in his shot. Because you go back and watch. There are so many points where hands are right in his face when he's shooting these threes. So if you're betting, you'd go like, okay, like a 10% chance to hit that. And then he sinks it, and you're like, how the fuck does he... And it's insane. And it actually really put in perspective a lot of the shots that he did have to take, especially later on in his career, because he didn't have Shaq. So there are times where, he's double-teaming the corner. Oh, fuck, 3 seconds left on the shot clock. I have to put this up. And he found a way to make it. And I know you're a soccer fan. I know you like soccer. I don't follow soccer really, but I remember Kobe's one of the first pro athletes, prominent pro athletes, to really speak on soccer and be able to kind of be like, oh man, they're like these guys playing these guys, holy shit, and like being really excited for it. And I always appreciate that he wasn't just using the international thing just to make money. You know what I mean? Like he actually appreciated basketball from overseas. He was a big component as far as wanting that bridge, the gap between Europe and the NBA. I mean, you look at like Ginobili and Luka and all the Nowitzki and the influx of international play. I mean, Kobe was a big ambassador.
Yes, he was,
for that, which is something I don't think people give him enough credit for. I also don't think people give enough credit to how funny Kobe was, because you watch him in interviews, and I remember he was on James Corden, and he does that spill your fill your guts or spit at your whatever it is, something like that. But he, James Corden asked him point blank. He was like, "Oh yeah, who's the answer this question 1 to 3? Like you, Jordan, LeBron, who's the best ever?" He's like, "Yeah, me 1, Jordan 2, LeBron 3." And I remember I was like, no hesitation, fucking love that. Like he, truly believes he's the best, and you should. Why the fuck would you not think you're the best? For me, he is the best Laker ever, in my humble opinion. Magic brought a lot with Showtime, obviously, but this is the closest, we had gotten to Showtime was when Kobe and Shaq were together, and then when Shaq even left. I think people forget because you guys had a rough kind of late '90s, like '92 on.
Yeah.
Like you had like Cedric Ceballos and shit starting.
Very, very true.
I remember I was like, oh man, but then you guys, you got Nick Van Exel, you got Eddie Jones, and then Shaq came, and then Kobe, and you're like, okay, but this just doesn't feel real, man, and that's what I kind of keep coming back to. I know we've talked about, celebrity deaths off mic, and how sometimes it's like, okay, like didn't really know that person, whatever.
We were just talking about Robin Williams the other day.
Yeah, and I remember that one. We both were like,
yeah,
dude, what the fuck? Because Robin Williams was one where he just touched so many people's lives, and I think very similar in this sense. Kobe touched so many people's lives. He inspired so many. I can tell you, as someone who's played basketball since he was 4, how many guys I saw roll up with Kobe jerseys, 8 and 24. Kobe's so baller, he got 2 numbers retired. I mean, let's just put that. Let's just put that in perspective.
Mark Cuban's having his number, or he's having 24 retired.
Yeah, which
that's a hell of a tip of the hat.
It is, and the Mavericks and Lakers had some real great games when back when Nowitzki was playing. I used to love watching Kobe and Michael Finley go at each other. That was always a matchup. I'm like, this is fun. But
and the thing too is, not many players get their number retired on teams they never even played for. I like to point out, Wayne Gretzky, the great one,
yes sir,
like the greatest hockey player to ever fucking put the skates on, had his number retired by every team,
which is crazy,
right?
Yeah,
like they were all like, "Yep, nobody's wearing number 99 again."
Yeah.
The fact that another team is retiring 24 on behalf of Kobe Bryant, I think that is a fucking amazing. Has that happened with Michael Jordan?
It has not.
Right?
No.
Just want to point that out there.
No, and that's completely fair. I think this is one of those cases, honest to God, if you have the Lakers, and I'm just spitballing here, so bear with me, but the next, if you do, opening night, or the first game where the Lakers play the Clippers each season, do Jackie Robinson style, have everyone wear number 24.
I can dig that.
I think something like that needs to happen, to be completely honest, because if there is a player for me that deserves it, it is Kobe.
I would agree with that. And
people forget, just for the economic effect he had on the city of Los Angeles alone.
Yep.
I know Kobe doesn't have a statue, right? He does not have a statue.
I think he will.
I think it. So I would have been a component of him getting one anyway, just for the record. But this all but solidifies it for me. He needs a statue, in front of Staples, because again, that's the house he built. As far as I'm concerned, here's the thing: the Lakers will profit off of Kobe Bryant, what he did in Los Angeles, until the end of time, because
Mama's basketball is a thing, man.
Yeah, because people will always talk about, because you have to go. I mean, people. It's almost sad to a point. People aren't mentioning the Forum as much as they have, which is a bummer, because you don't always want to forget.
No, you don't.
Where you come from.
I totally get that.
But at the same time, though, Staples Center is going to be there for a minute. They will probably just keep finding ways to upgrade it and all that. But that is hallowed ground that was walked on by, Kobe Bryant himself, and that hallowed ground, the amount of people who've gone there and been entertained and amused and laughed and cried and bought Lakers overpriced merch at at ticket stands or at merch stands. That's in large part because of what Kobe did, and I like to point out too, he's an Oscar winner too.
Yes, he is.
He is an Oscar winner, you know, and you think about because he was with Adidas, wasn't Adidas that his shoes were?
No, he was.
Was he Nike?
I'm almost 99. He was Nike, like 99.
I don't know why I'm thinking Adidas. Maybe I'm losing my mind.
I think you're losing your mind.
I might be, but because I feel like okay, so actually no, he did have Adidas. He did have Adidas at a point.
Oh, at a point?
Yeah. Okay. See, yes. So, yes, Nike basketball, but yes, he did have Adidas at a point. Because I remember that was like kind of a big deal. I was like, oh, yeah, so Nike. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm not losing my mind. Okay, good. I thought I was losing my shit for a second, but I just, yeah. So he started off with Adidas, then went to Nike. So there you go. But I'm very curious because the Lakers are playing the Clippers Tuesday. So, I'm not doing anything Tuesday. I hope that game is on like at 7.
And I do not know what time. I want to say it starts at 4:30.
If it's on like in TNT or something like that, I'm gonna record that.
Oh, totally.
Because I really want to watch that start to finish. That's that's a big game anyway. Now it's going to be a very emotional.
Yep.
And while I am no LeBron fan, and I stand by that, I will be pulling for the Lakers on Tuesday. I will be an honorary Laker fan on Tuesday.
I think you're going to see Magic there for the first time.
I agree 1,000%. I think you see a lot of Laker greats there.
Yeah. I think Shaq will be there. Man, I'm trying really not to choke up right now. Fuck.
Yeah, oh wow, my voice.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew, okay. It's getting real. Shit. Okay. Here's the thing. Watching Doc Rivers' reaction, broke my fucking heart. Because Doc Rivers clearly loved him. He talked about, I saw him a couple weeks ago, and they talked for like 45 minutes at this function. Grammys are tonight. I actually forgot the Grammys are tonight. I'm like, oh, that's right, because this has just been since like noon. This has been our
day.
Yeah, you know.
I was making a Dungeons and Dragons character. Like, so the thing that I was doing earlier to break down some background stuff. I agreed to do this thing on building a Dungeons and Dragons character. Man, I had a hard time fucking concentrating.
Yeah.
And there were points, though, that I, like, made a point to power through, because I was like, I really, like, no disrespect to the game or anything, because it was just character setup, but I was like, I want to get off of here.
Yeah.
Like, as quickly as I could, because, like, it sucks, man. This really fucking sucks. I mean, Kobe, so, like, I gotta point this out, like, this is Kobe Bryant taught me what team over player meant.
Okay. That is your mantra when it comes to sports.
Well, for everything but football.
Okay.
For everything but football.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm a player person when it comes to football. That's because Joe Montana broke me on everything I know about professional sports.
Fair enough, but when it comes to basketball,
it's team over player.
Fair enough.
For every other sport, it's team over player.
Okay.
Every other sport. And it was Kobe Bryant and the Lakers that taught me that. Because Kobe Bryant, remember, he sought a trade.
He did.
And Dr. Buss talked him out of it.
God rest his soul.
Yep.
Dude, okay, that's one guy, just real quick. I always had the utmost respect.
Exactly.
For Dr. Hearn, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I used to... Okay, this is kind of a dirty secret. I don't think I've actually ever shared this. I'm like, I used to listen to Laker games with my dad. Because Hearn would... One of my favorite announcers. Oh my god, Chick Hearn, right? Chick Hearn?
I don't remember the announcer's name.
Oh my god, I want to say it's Chick Hearn, but he but I used to Chick Hearn. Okay, perfect. I was like, yes, that sounds right. But he used to always do the Lakers Radio Network, and he always say just like that. It always took me back to like 50s old school radio shows. I always loved that shit.
That could be the guy that I hear. Wait, is he even alive still?
No, he's not. But he was, he died back in 2002.
2002.
Yeah, and that's actually
the guy that got like announcing your Los Angeles Lakers. He's I swear to God, man, that guy's been doing that shit forever too.
Yeah,
at least it feels like it's been forever.
I mean, yeah,
but dude, man, like I'm gonna say like how important Kobe was to just my team.
Yeah,
as a guy who taught for the player that taught me team over player, because I really was like I was a player over team kind of guy without a doubt. We owe that man so fucking much because we lost Magic kind of in the back part of his prime, but still in his prime.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Magic came out of retirement and still performed at a pretty good level. You know what I mean? When he did come out of retirement.
Yeah.
But Kobe was that guy. He was that guy. I think while MJ is still unattainable, I almost dare say, in terms of everyone's going to aspire to be like Michael Jordan, but nobody's going to be Michael Jordan. I think you can now say, and Kobe Bryant's enduring legacy to the NBA is going to be, you can aspire to be Kobe Bryant, but you will never be Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, and I think the key thing to say to kind of to add on that is that we're not just talking about on basketball level. We're talking about your off court endeavors because. Yeah. I mean, I know everyone wants to give LeBron, like, oh, he's doing the shop and all this, but guys, I mean, Kobe was doing the shit like that before. I mean, really not since Magic have we seen someone post-Laker life be that successful, you know? And Kobe, you know, I was watching Stephen A. Smith earlier talk about how, you know, people were calling him Oprah. He's like, no, Harpo. Like, I want to own, like, I don't want to just be in front of the camera. I want to be behind the camera. I want to be handling shit behind the scenes, and it, you know, that Mamba mentality, and I there were 9 people total who we lost today, and including his daughter, man, who's 13, and I showed OJ off mic. You can find it's a quick Google search, but there's a picture of him and his daughter Gianna side by side. You know, Kobe would always put the jersey in his mouth when he's kind of like zoning in. You see her doing the same thing, and it's eerie as hell to see it. It's like, oh my god, like, you know, and she clearly had that mama mentality. Like a 13-year-old Kobe Bryant sounds horrifying. Like, I mean, obviously we wouldn't have been out of prime, but that to be that focused already, it's like, wow. And we are fans of Kobe Bryant. My heart just breaks for the city of Los Angeles. Sorry. Okay. My heart breaks for the city of Los Angeles. My heart breaks for his family, man. It just, you know, and I've talked about this on mic. You know, I lost my dad when I was 13. And I feel so bad for those kids that they lost not just their dad, but they lost a sister, you know. I can't imagine how Vanessa's feeling right now. She's just got to be in... Yeah, I can't even imagine how she's feeling right now. And the whole world of professional sports is worse off now. It truly is. This is something I don't think is talked about enough. Jordan kind of, once he retired, kind of took his Hall of Fame speech, you know, accepted it and kind of went home. You know, he's kind of like almost, you know, Batman Beyond himself. He's almost like kind of become a recluse. You know what I mean? Like
he's the head of ops for the Hornets. Right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Like he's not. Is he the owner or is he just like?
I think he's like GM at some point, or
right?
Something like that. But yeah, he's not doing a great job there. Lost Kimba, but I mean,
yeah.
But Jordan's just kind of he's not been in the public eye too often. Kobe really didn't hide from it. But,
Kobe was at Laker games this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you heard about Kobe, like, being out there. But, like, basketball wasn't his only thing. That's what, selfishly, I'm so pissed off about, is that Kobe had life left to live outside of the NBA. He clearly had other interests, and it's like, and this kid, man, 13, had so much of her life left to fucking live, and this is one of those days, man, because it doesn't make sense, and it's selfish, and I fully acknowledge that it's selfish, but as a black man, I saw what Kobe did, man. I saw his drive, and and I've talked about this before. I think black folks, sometimes we are so desperate to embrace our own when we're doing well that we don't think about to the detriment, and I won't go off on a whole Tyler Perry rant, but he's an example that Kobe is one of those guys. If I saw him in LA, I would be like, oh my fucking god, like I would have lost my shit. Like, dude, can I just like selfie or can we play ping pong? I don't like ping pong. Come on, Kobe, like because of what he did off the court. And he had the ESPN Plus show. I can't remember what it was, but where Kobe kind of break down game tape, and just to see how his mind worked, you're like, this explains why you're so great at this. Like, you were so great, like, because he would see stuff like 10 seconds before the play would even develop, and you're like, wow, okay, like, all right, I see you, and it just, it sucks, man. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of throw it back to you, man, if you want to just wrap up.
Yeah, the man is going to carry a cultural following with him for like forever at this point. To see the influence far and wide and so close to home in his own kid. This is going to sound really fucked up, but bear with me on this.
No, go ahead.
She wouldn't be there if it wasn't for him, and I mean that in the most positive way.
I get what you're saying.
She saw what her father had become. Well, like saw the, because of how old she was, like more often. I mean, well, back half of his career.
Yeah.
Growing up, she saw him put the work in, show diligence, and no compromise in any of that. So many people don't have that, or even come close to having that kind of mentality, and like to be able to have fans pull that, like aspire to that is one thing, but to have your kid want to embody that also is like the biggest accomplishment someone can have.
Yeah,
is in being a parent like that, and she was going after it like he did.
Yeah,
and it sucks that she'll never live up to that potential. But goddamn, it doesn't mean you shouldn't try.
Absolutely not.
No matter your background.
Yeah, I think just this is what I'll say in closing. Kobe, I always respected him. I mean, I've talked about the reasons why, but I miss not having that peek behind the curtain. And we kind of talked about this off mic, but social media's kind of almost ruined it. You know what I mean? Like, because these guys obviously at points hang out and all that, but Kobe was one of those guys you never really saw him like hanging out with like LeBron or someone like other star players not on his team. During the regular season, he was laser focused on winning a championship every fucking season. And yeah, these guys still want to win the ship and all that now, but you see them out in clubs together and all that, and it's not the same. You always heard about how Jordan would be like, basically fuck y'all until the season's over. I loved how Kobe had that same mentality, and how he really would, like, when we were getting closer to playoffs, man. I mean, people talk out about LeBron. Kobe is really the first one I remember where, like, social media would go just dark, from like All-Star break really through the finals. He really was focused every fucking year on winning a chip, and I always respected his work ethic just on that alone. This just sucks. And at the end of the day, I mean, I know it's like a no duh, but it really does, just because, 41, man. I mean, that's young.
It's way too young.
And you just sit back and go, fuck, man. And so I've been an emotional wreck all day, to be completely honest, just off. So, I told him, I was like, okay, I love you, man. And, like, I texted my folks. I'm like, guys, like, I've been texting people all day, just kind of talking about it.
Couple people at the office that know I'm really into the Lakers reached out.
That's cool, man.
Fuck yeah. And it's a dark day, man. It's a dark fucking day, man. Because here's the thing, man. I just kind of really want to touch on this.
No, go.
We've been in an era lately on the mental health awareness, on entertainment and sports, regarding the effect or lack of, not real research. I don't want to say that because that sounds almost like an excuse. But the lack of, I guess, focus in that area.
Yeah.
Robin Williams took his own life due to his own demons. I just watched the documentary on Aaron Hernandez, and while the man's a monster, I feel a little bit bad for him based on, like, his own physical injuries.
Yeah.
That could cause you to go down a pathway mentally to make that kind of bad choice.
Fair.
To lead you to think that bad choice was acceptable. Let me put it that way. Because at the end of the day, the choice is still his.
Yeah.
And everything like that. Junior Seau took his own life due to
Yeah.
And that's what that was the danger of what sports was going to be labeled as.
Yeah.
Because football takes that level of attention, because that's America's sport.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what makes this so goddamn unfair.
Yeah.
Because that's not the case here.
Yeah.
This is a man who lost his life young while living his life by his own fucking rules.
Yeah, his best life.
Yeah.
Like, legit living his best life.
That's what makes this so goddamn unfair.
Yeah.
And he was giving back in ways, because people will forget, and his effect on women in basketball.
Yeah.
And everything like that. And I gotta point out that, like, this wasn't some goddamn bum who was taking his wealth and money and influence and using it for ways that would be so fucking just all the wrong reasons. But here he is, fucking helping out his daughter. Here he is being, like, just a dad, and, like, figuring out what is there outside of the game, and to show that it's really just a game of pushing yourself in every aspect, even with what you've been doing for so long is no longer in front of you. It's not over. He fucking just everything that he's done off the court. He's been a busy fucking dude since he retired.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a real hard thing to top.
Yeah.
LeBron's trying, I'll give him credit.
Yes.
But he's already made compromises that have already taken him out of that conversation, in my opinion.
That's fair. Kobe.
That's the kind of cat Kobe was.
Yeah. Fuck, okay.
Sorry.
No, dude. I just... Last thing I'm going to say in closing is I remember Kobe would really talk up the WNBA. Because, they got the LA Sparks down there. And someone who actually used to watch pretty religiously. I'm a huge Sue Bird fan. I think she's a badass bitch. But I mean, you looked at I go old school. Like someone like Cheryl Swoop, Cynthia Cooper, Lisa Leslie, Rebecca Lobo. I used to really get into the WNBA season because I really thought that WNBA has been wonderful. I wish you would fucking advertise it so I knew where to watch, but it's like they never fucking do. So they need to work on that. But yeah, you'd see Kobe at Sparks games sometimes. It's like son of a bitch where he'd be bringing up I believe he was he talked about it when they won the chip, how excited he was for him. I'm like, goddamn, dude, right on taking your platform, and elevating something. He was not selfish, man. He didn't seem like he was selfish with his time. He wasn't selfish with his money. Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna buy a Kobe jersey, man. So honestly, dude, and this might be enough. This happening, because I've talked about on Mike. I don't have an NBA team right now. I just kind of watch and go cool. Yeah, if the Lakers win the title this year, as much as I can't stand LeBron, honestly, man, I'm okay with it. Because this, to answer your question from earlier, because
I was just curious what you might think, man, because, it's kind of one of those impact things, man, how do I put this? If Michael Jordan died tomorrow in a similar fashion,
yeah,
I don't think people would be rooting for the Bulls in the same way.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Because while we would have lost the undisputed GOAT,
yeah,
I mean, Jordan wasn't a Bulls guy.
No.
You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
When Jordan, when the jersey came off for good.
Yeah.
You see Jordan at Bulls games?
No, you don't.
Nah, not at all.
Yeah.
And he won 6 fucking titles there.
Yeah.
But Kobe, he was a Laker when he was done.
He's been a Laker through and through.
But even when he retired, he was still a Laker.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a really great point. Yeah, man, I think I'm gonna get a Kobe jersey, man. I did this. This has been fucking with my head so much today because I'm seeing highlights. I'm seeing Twitter is just a mess right now. And this is one of the great things about social media. This is one of those times that you can connect with someone, thousands of miles away, and be like, dude, my favorite Kobe memory, was this, and feel that love back. But this sucks, man. And so just wrapping up here, I'm gonna have OJ on later this week because we're gonna talk the first couple episodes of Card, which I'm excited to talk to you about.
Oh yeah. And
then we're gonna get super high and review Jay and Silent Bob Reboot this weekend, which will be fun. But lastly, in closing, to Laker Nation, to the Bryant family, to all of you listening, I'm sorry. I really am, and I don't know what else to say outside of that. This sucks, but thank you for taking time to even listen, and grieve with us. So, tell us your favorite Kobe moments. Like I said, I think you said yours was the Matt Barnes head check.
Yeah.
Mine is the shot on Christmas Day, because again, it's still one of the funniest fucking shots I've ever seen. But
because for me, man, the no flinch, man, that's just, if you could just sum up, you capture an essence of a person.
It's fair.
Just fuck, man,
yeah,
stone cold killer, man.
Yeah. Ice in the veins, man.
Yeah,
but
in the most admirable fucking way, man.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, man, that. Yeah, I remember that being my favorite play of the whole game. I was like, "Yep, this is great."
Yeah.
Just Kobe, no, you did not. But, yeah, man. But OJ, you've got a podcast we were mentioning earlier, the
yes, sir,
KJ and OJ podcast. Where can they find that?
You just you find us on Twitter at KJ and OJ spelled out, and you can find me on my personal Twitter at DO to the J with the number 2 in there, and I'll leave it at that. I don't got to really pimp my shit out tonight.
No, that's fair. Yeah, guys, you can find us on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, Spotify at The Real Pineapple. And then you can find me on Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. Yeah, we'll talk about the other shit next week. This is just, like I said, guys, this has been a weird day. It's been a really weird, shitty day. And I don't look forward to Mondays anyway. It's going to... Tomorrow's gonna be a weird day, man.
Tomorrow is, man.
Like it's gonna be a really weird day. I'm kind of like, I don't know. But yeah, to everyone, thank you for listening. OJ, thank you for being here. I love you, man.
Thanks for having me.
We will see you guys this weekend. Have a great week, guys. Have a good Monday.